Joel Embiid just saved Team USA from the biggest embarrassment in the history of US Olympic sports. Let's talk about it. It is so crazy to think that Team USA actually almost lost to Philip Petrusev in the Olympic Games. If you would have told me that 5 years ago, I'd call you insane, but that really almost became a reality today. I'm so relieved that the U.S. didn't lose, obviously, because I'm rooting for Team USA. But first and foremost, as a Sixers fan, I'm so proud to see Joel Embiid just dominate in the international setting in the Olympic Games. He's been getting so much undeserved flack and malice thrown towards out at him for the entire summer. It's been so annoying. Um, you really can't find a way to avoid it, whether it's Colin Cowherd spouting nonsense. Wherever you go, pretty much, if you're around, like you're invested in NBA discourse, you're going to see some controversy with Joel Embiid. It's just the nature of who he is as a player and as a personality. But to see him score 7 points in the clutch time in the Olympic Games with the pressure so high, with all the expectations surrounding Team USA and how they should be easily getting the gold medal, given their roster strength, um, you know all the top NBA players that they have, they should be dominating. But Team Serbia was smacking them around for the entire game, it seemed like. It really seemed like Team USA, it took them too long to actually start taking the game seriously. And by then they were in a 15 point hole at one point. I think like at the beginning of the second quarter, they were in a 15-point hole. And that's ridiculous. That is unacceptable for the U.S. to be playing with that much laziness. And they just looked really, out of sorts and had their head in the clouds the entire game. Whereas Serbia, give them a lot of credit. They were hustling. They were playing with a really um, big competitive spirit. They were just out hustling Team USA and making a lot of crazy shots too. They were making Team USA look like a bunch of 2K generated players, and they set the difficulty to rookie mode. Um, Nikola Jokic was dominating Anthony Davis and Bam Adebayo. It only took until Joel Embiid got into the game to slow Jokic down a bit and to slow Serbia down in general. So big props to Serbia for how competitive they were and giving the U.S. a big fight. But I did not expect myself to get so emotional today. On a dead August afternoon. NBA offseason, nothing's going on. There's really nothing to talk about. Um, but the Olympics have been really interesting for me. I just like seeing the different play style. These role players from the NBA go play for their international teams and really make a difference and be amongst the best players in the Olympic league out of all the players you wouldn't expect. You'd expect like LeBron and KD and Embiid and Curry and pretty much everyone on Team USA to be just the best Olympic players. But if you actually look at all the stats and watch the games and stuff, you can tell that it's the guys like Dennis Schroeder, Nicholas Batum. I was watching him play today and I was getting really sad because it just sucks how he's not on the Sixers anymore. Um, like Bogdanovich and stuff. They were all playing really well, really outperforming what they usually do in the NBA. And that's cool to see, frankly, just as a basketball fan, just to sort of appreciate how good these guys actually are and how they can thrive given the settings. Um, then again, I think you have to be fair to the players on Team USA too for how they can look clunky at times because, they're back in the NBA, they're all the center of attention for their teams. All the role players are basically playing just to complement those star players. For Embiid, for example, he has had to take a completely different approach to the game now that he's playing with all these legends and top players in the NBA. And of course, there have been struggles for him, but in general, I think he was just getting a lot of undeserved flack, and it wasn't fair treatment because it was his first Olympic Games, um, and he just really doesn't do anything in the off season in terms of conditioning. It takes him the first couple weeks of the NBA season to get conditioned. But just to see him play like the Joel that I know can be such a fantastic basketball player to watch, really show up in the Olympics, it's been so cool to see. And Stephen Curry, too. Steph lit the entire arena on fire. So, I mean, Embiid, if it wasn't for his performance in the fourth quarter, we would have lost. But Steph was really keeping us in the game throughout the entire four quarters. So definitely a lot of credit to him. Him and Embiid definitely carried. Oh, LeBron did too. I think he almost had. I think he had a triple double, I believe. But I'm just happy. I'm just relieved. I'm just so relieved to see Team USA win. Uh, and if they approach today's game on Saturday, if they play like they did in the opening quarters against France, like they did against Serbia, then they have a lot coming towards them. Because I watched France play Germany today, and they fight as well. They were down against Germany too multiple times throughout the game, but they just did not quit. They just kept playing really calmly, a lot of fluid ball movement. They're just a really well organized team. And although I do predict the USA will handily deal with France on Saturday, things can easily go wrong if they're not locked in from the get go. Please, Steve Kerr, please don't play Bam Adebayo on Victor Wembanyama. It's not going to end well. France has a ton of movement shooters that he can just kick the ball out to because we're going to have to be forced to double team him. Just play Embiid as much as you can, and put Anthony Davis out there as a long body to deal with Wemby. But those are just my thoughts on how the game went. Definitely a really emotional one, crazy game, super entertaining. Glad the USA won. I'm glad to see Joel Embiid play so well and really dominate and put the team on his back and be a true leader for Team USA. So yeah, I can't wait for them to play on Saturday. Go Sixers, go USA. Catch you on the next one. Peace.